wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We got a lot going on today. My friend Josh Tifo from Turning Point USA, Senior Director for Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, is going to be joining us at 11 o'clock. Big news on the Turning Point front in Tennessee is going to be breaking tomorrow. We'll have all the details for you at 11 o'clock. Also on the show today, we have Erika Kirk going on offense. And it feels like, and maybe it's just me, but it feels like it's about time. She has tried to take the high road through all the insanity, and I think she's done a good job of that. But yesterday on Fox News, she went scorched earth, and then we got a response from the people that she was talking about. We'll detail all of that as well. And then Venezuelan oil tanker seized. That is a wild story as well. In the meantime, you can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. We are live on Super Talk TV. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. It's free to do, and it really does help the radio station. If you like WTN, if you've been a fan of this station for years upon years, like so many of us have been, if you believe that this is the place for news in Middle Tennessee, help us grow the digital footprint. It will only help the radio station get bigger and reach more people. So please do that for us. If you will, hit like, hit subscribe. And if you don't like me, you can also hit dislike. But make sure it's authentic. Keep it real. Keep it 100, as the kids say. Is that what? Do they still say that?
I don't think that often, but we'll let it slide this time.
They don't. They don't say that anymore. Damn. You gotta let me know next time.
Listen, you didn't ask. You didn't give me the rundown of what slang you were using today.
Well, I thought I was going to do what the kids are doing.
You're trying, man.
6, 7. Are they still doing that?
Probably.
Okay.
Although you can't do it at In-N-Out anymore.
No.
Unfortunate.
You hear Mandis told everybody at the radio station that he was going to In-N-Out yesterday except for me?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he told all his closest friends.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the issue right there, Joan.
Sorry.
I'll let you know if I go to In-N-Out, Joan Jones.
Okay.
I'll let you know too, Mason.
My brother went last night. Was there for 4 hours and 14 minutes.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Which one did he go to?
He what?
Which one did he go to?
The one in Lebanon.
4 hours?
4 hours.
Holy crap.
That's
He was there
lot.
right before they closed at 1 a.m. this morning.
Okay, and the rumors online is that it was a 500-car line in Antioch. That's bananas.
It's huge. It stretched around the building, down the road, and they had to pay to rent other parking lots so people could park in those parking lots and walk over to use the inside.
What?
Yeah. He sat still for 2 hours and didn't move. And then they finally got to his line and he started moving for the other 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to wait a couple weeks before I even consider.
Yeah, well, Dan was like, I got door to burger in 90 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not that bad. Like, it could be worse.
He went during the day. I
Yeah,
think
he
at
went
nighttime
bright
it's a
and
little
early.
different.
What's the best time to go, you think?
Right now, right at open probably.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get there, like, as be one of the first in the first week that it's open. But otherwise, I'd wait like 3 weeks and then go, and you'll have probably normal traffic.
3 weeks. I don't
3
know.
weeks.
I think it's going to take longer than that.
Probably, but like it's going to start to slow down a little bit around that time.
What are their Christmas hours? Are they open on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Because
I
they're
think so. They run like Chick-fil-A.
okay, but they're a big Christian company.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve might be low key a good day to go if they're open.
That might be. That'd be cool.
I need a double animal style in my life.
Carolers around the line.
We need carolers.
Would be big.
It would be huge. People would like it. If you go to In-N-Out today and you're at any of the locations, give us an update on the text line, 615-737-9986. Andy wants to know. Andy's got the question. This is we ask the tough questions around here. We're just asking questions. Right? That's what we've learned. All you have to do is we're just asking questions. Andy wants to know on the text line, how many of those 500 vehicles in line in Antioch got carjacked? Joan Jones, anything in the news?
None that I have no information on carjackings. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep us updated should you learn anything. We're just asking questions. All right, what do we talk about first? Let's talk about Venezuela. We have seized a huge oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and President Trump confirmed this himself. This press conference yesterday, it was wild because he confirms that they've taken the tanker, and then Donald Trump, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but he has to be the most gangster president that we've ever had. I mean, set aside the fact that he has a mugshot and he almost went to prison, but he's pretty gangster. And when he's talking about the oil tanker from Venezuela, I find myself going like just a tear welling up in my eye and feeling like that's my president. There he is, doing it yet again. He confirmed yesterday that, yes, we have seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and he confirmed that live yesterday afternoon, right around 2 o'clock our time.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
I love how low key he is. That's some news that you're going to be talking about later, and you'll be talking about it with other people. Just let me drop this thunder low key, and then we're going to move on. Pam Bondi on X saying today, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security Investigations of the United States Coast Guard, with support from the Department of War, executed a seizure warrant for a crude oil tanker. I love this. For a crude oil tanker used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran. For multiple years, the oil tanker has been sanctioned by the United States due to its involvement in illicit oil shipping networks supporting foreign terrorist organizations. This seizure, completed off the coast of Venezuela, was conducted safely and securely in our investigation alongside the Department of Homeland Security to prevent the transport of sanctioned oil continues. And there's a video to go along with this where you're seeing helicopters over this oil tanker, guys rappelling down on ropes. It really does look pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. And the Maduro regime, they got to be shaking in their boots a little bit. They have to. Trump said the tanker was seized for a very good reason, provided no further details. When he was asked about what's going to happen with the oil on the ship, this is just another example of President Trump and how he just stands on business. He said, they said, sir, what are you going to do with the oil? He said, I don't know. I guess we're going to keep it. I guess it's ours now.
What happens to the oil on this ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
Where does it go? What port does it go to?
Well, you have to follow the tanker. You're a good newsman. Just follow the tanker.
Do you know where it was going? Was it going
Follow
to
it.
China?
Get a helicopter and follow the tanker.
Is it true it's going to
But we're
China?
I assume we're gonna keep the oil.
Mr. President, on Fed chair.
Well, you're a good reporter. Just get in a little helicopter and follow the tanker if you want to know where the oil is going.
Just follow him down the road.
Just follow the tanker. What you need answers from me? It's a big boat. Just follow it. Just follow the tanker. I love this. I love the energy. Trump said the tanker was seized for a very good reason. A U.S. official said the seizure was led by the Coast Guard, supported by the U.S. Navy. Another official told the New York Times that the oil tanker is named Skipper. and was carrying a false flag of nationality at the time it was seized. It was seized because of its past links to smuggling illicit Iranian oil, not because of its ties to the Maduro regime, although it was carrying Venezuelan oil. A federal judge authorized a seizure warrant for the tanker roughly 2 weeks ago, the official said. UK-based maritime risk company Vanguard confirmed on Wednesday there is an oil tanker named Skipper that was sanctioned by the United States for allegedly being involved with the illegal trade of Iranian oil under another name, Odessa. An unnamed source told Politico the ship was en route to Cuba, if you will, Cuba. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Cuba, where the state firm was planning to sell it to Asian energy brokers. Due to U.S. sanctions, most of Venezuela's oil product is sold to China. Maybe you've heard of them. It's China. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro did not directly address the tanker seizure. In a belligerent speech he gave on Wednesday afternoon, he said during the speech that Venezuela's military is prepared to break the teeth of the North American empire if necessary. I don't know. What response would you give Nicolas Maduro? Come at me, bro. That's just, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Mason's finding buttons.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
International oil prices rose modestly on the news of the seizure. Industry and analysts said oil buyers would need time to learn the exact circumstances of the seizure and if any Venezuelan oil was loaded aboard the ship before calculating the impact on the availability of Venezuelan crude. But this is a big story, and the escalations are clear here. The implications are a bit less clear. What happens next? The oil was supposed to go to Cuba, and then Asia, never arrived. Many insiders are saying what happens next will reshape global oil markets. Every Venezuelan shipping contract now requires war clauses. Freight costs are exploding. Crude discounts have doubled from $8 to $15 per barrel below Brent. PDVSA has lost all negotiating power. One analyst, when enforcement moves from paper sanction to boots on deck, the market dynamics change completely. The mathematics of deterrence are brutal. Venezuela exports 921,000 barrels daily. Analysts estimate 300,000 to 500,000 barrels per day could vanish as shadow fleet operators recalculate risk. The collateral damage is visible. Cuba's oil imports have collapsed by 35% this year. Provinces receive 2 to 4 hours of electricity daily. The seized tanker was their lifeline. Meanwhile, 15,000 troops in the Caribbean. The USS Gerald R. Ford carrier strike group on station. 87 killed in 22 strikes since September. Trump saying yesterday, Maduro's days are numbered. Maduro today saying it's not a time for cowards, it's a time for combat. Said the shadow fleet era just hit its breaking point. This is not a seizure. This is a demonstration. Paper sanctions are over. Physical enforcement has begun. Watch the insurance markets. Watch China's teapot refineries scramble.
China.
This is going to be interesting to see what happens next. And you know what? I'm curious to see where it goes. I am. They had a security analyst, a national security analyst on CNN. And I believe that CNN got the national security analyst on to say Orange Man bad. And what Trump is doing is illegal. I'm waiting for somebody, like there's going to be a congressman. I would think like a guy like Shri Thanadar, might be like, oh, we got to impeach Trump for stealing. We got to. He stole something that wasn't his. And I imagine that Democrats will be and moan about that. But they had the national security analyst on CNN, and what was her name? Beth Sanner. And they asked her about the oil tanker. Again, I think they were trying to elicit the Orange Man bad reaction. And she said, this is kind of business as usual.
A lot of people don't understand the basic idea of what's going on here. Nicolas Maduro, who is in charge of Venezuela, president of Venezuela, he's there because of fraud. Like, he should not be the leader of Venezuela.
Right. He lost the election.
He lost the election, and he kept power instead. President Trump is not. My larger point is that President Trump is it's not wild for people in the West to think Maduro is not there legitimately.
Right.
And there has been this pressure campaign from President Trump for him to step down. Seizing an oil tanker.
Yeah.
That's a much bigger deal and a much bigger than these narco-terrorist boats, as the president calls them, people shooting them. Seizing a tanker, how could this escalate the conflict with Venezuela?
Well, we've had sanctions on Venezuelan oil since the first Trump administration. And
Biden kept them.
Kept them.
Yeah.
So to me, this is absolutely normal. I mean,
seizing an oil tanker?
Yeah. We've been seizing Iranian oil tankers in the past. We also, according to the law that I've read, that oil is up for forfeiture. So we could keep that. We've kept Iranian oil in the past.
I love it when she goes, well, this is kind of normal. And he's like, seizing an oil tanker is normal? And she's like, yes. Yes. And that's a CNN national security analyst, Beth Sanner. I love it when CNN is like, wait, what? We got the wrong guest. Who was it? Somebody texted in. Oh, 1779. Let's use that oil to refill our reserves that Biden emptied. That's what I would do. It might happen, but we'd have to get in our helicopter and follow the boat. That's the only way to know where it's going to go. What happens next, or more importantly, who's next? Donald Trump had a message for the Colombian president during this same press conference. And I don't know about you, but when I play you these comments, there's part of me that thinks that there's no planet where he didn't clench up a little bit and maybe, just maybe, poop his pants a little bit. I'll bring you the audio on the way. It's 9:22. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. Now, listen, we're not going to have rain for a little while, but that doesn't mean that your waterproofing issue has fixed itself. If you've been having water get into your crawl space and into your basement, you might start seeing red flags and warning signs around your house because that water could weaken the foundation, and a weakened foundation shows up like this. Cracks in the drywall, doors that won't shut right, floors that are sagging. If you notice any of these things, that water that's been getting in is causing bigger issues, and you don't want to keep kicking the can down the road. You want to call a company that's been doing this work since 1994. You want to call a company with 30,000 satisfied customers. You want to call United Structural Systems. These guys are so confident in the work that they do that the warranty they leave you is transferable. Even if you leave the home, the warranty can stay. So when you need the best, you call USS, whether it's waterproofing or foundation repair, whether it's a big fix or something really small, these guys will give you the honest truth every single time. When it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road. Call United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Nashville police searching for a man who ran off on foot after crashing into somebody on a bike. Also, 1,000 new jobs headed to Montgomery County. That and more coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is live, Super Talk TV on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. So yesterday, Donald Trump is given a big press conference. This is big news. Oil tanker seized in Venezuela, and then he's asked about the Colombian president because we all understand how much drugs are coming out of Colombia. And oh my gosh, this answer from President Trump. This is 100% why we voted for this guy. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, heard this. Because, to hear his reaction, I would have been like, I don't know what they're saying. They're speaking Spanish. But I still wish I had been there because this comment from President Trump is awesome. They say, well, what about Colombia's president? What do you think about him? He goes, well, I don't think about him at all. That's how it starts. Wait until you hear how it ends.
We have three countries sending drugs to the U.S., Mexico, Venezuela, and Colombia. And you talked to the president of Mexico, you already talked to Nicolas Maduro. Have you considered talking to the president of Colombia, who you call a drug leader?
No, I haven't really thought too much about him. He's been fairly hostile to the United States, and I haven't given him a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next. Yeah.
Yeah, sign me up for this kind of stuff. That's my president. That's like official presidents. I don't think about him at all. I hope he's listening. He's next. Whoa. Could you imagine the reaction? Do you think he pooped his pants a little bit?
Just a little bit.
He definitely clenched up.
Oh, you gotta.
You have to clench up. I don't think that there's another world leader that could deliver that message in such a way that would strike fear into the hearts of any other world leaders. But this is how you deal with your opponents. Could you imagine Kamala Harris delivering a line like that? No. I mean, this press conference took place at 3, 4 o'clock Eastern time, so she would have been drunk.
Yeah, probably. Or if she had done it, she probably would have put an accent on it.
True. We got a lot more on the way, including why they were down there in the first place. Trump was surrounded by business leaders. He did have some comments on affordability. Maybe you've heard of it. We'll talk about that on the way. 9:31, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
It is now 9:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The search is on for the driver who ran a speeding car into a bicyclist early this morning near the Davidson County line, killing the person on the bike. Channel 4's Jordan James.
After the crash, officers reported that the driver lost control of their vehicle and ended up crashing along the shoulder of the road. It led them and their passengers to get out of the vehicle. The driver reportedly ran off into the woods, possibly armed with a weapon, while the passenger was detained by police at a Taco Bell once they showed up there.
Now, this crash took place at the intersection of Nolensville Pike and Burkett Road. More deputies have been assigned to work at the Nashville courthouse after Davidson County judges said they were living in fear over a social media post from Congressman Andy Ogles. In it, he said, "We are at war," referring to a Somali man accused of raping an unconscious woman downtown in August. That woman later died. Channel 4's Stacey Cameron confirms the Somali man, Mohammed, did have a long arrest record, but judges never jailed him.
Now, none of those cases the congressman brought up were felonies, but it's correct. Mohammed was no stranger to criminal courts here in Nashville. Not counting the rape case that's brought all of this attention to his criminal record, Mohammed has been arrested at least 15 times since 2015, 7 times this year alone.
Sheriff's deputies at the courthouse say there has been no threat of violence after that Facebook post by Andy Ogles. Nearly 1,000 new jobs are coming to Clark Clarksville. Japanese auto parts maker T-Red North America investing $90 million to open its first Tennessee facility in Clarksville. The company's U.S. headquarters are in Hopkinsville. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, Busy Bee's doing what they always do. They're taking care of the community, and they're stepping it up for Christmas. I love this. I love the energy from the guys over at Busy Bee. They have a toy drive going on at their Lebanon headquarters. You can drop off a new toy, and you're going to make a kid's Christmas really, really special. All the toys they collect are going to stay right there in Wilson County, helping kids and families in need this year. And while you're thinking about everybody else, think about yourself, too, and think about your home. If you upgrade your water heater in December, Busy Bee is going to give you a free 10-year parts warranty. Some exclusions apply, but this is a real good deal that's going to save you real money long term. Also, they're giving away free Beehive Club memberships. Your kids have been asking you to make Christmas cookies. You've been putting it off. But why don't you bake a Buzz the Bee cookie and get something other than just cookies? You'll get a free Beehive Club membership. You snap a picture, you tag Busy Bee on social media. It's that easy. They also still have their main line opening special happening, 93 or free. That means they clear it or you pay nothing. Busy Bee's a local hometown company. They take care of people the right way. Trust me, these are my HVAC guys. Give them a call today, 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. It's 9:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV is up and running, YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's free to do. Helps the radio station out a lot, growing the digital footprint. We appreciate it. We were talking about the oil tankers that's been seized. The oil tanker that was seized in Venezuela. It's a big story. 5294 texted and he said, this is a job that the Somalis could actually help us with. They know how to get ships. Fact check true. I'm also getting another text. Constantine texted in. He said, so y'all believe this? U.S. is the laughing stock of the world. Go outside of U.S. and ask, but don't say you're American. I said, call in. Call into the show. Then he went on to say, I'm from Europe. And I'm embarrassed when I go to tell I live in the U.S. or I'm a U.S. citizen. Voted DJT, registered Republican, disappointed. So I replied, go home if you're embarrassed. By all means. If you're embarrassed to be American, go home. Here's what I see. I see a president who is more than respected on the world stage. And if you don't see that, you are absolutely blind. Remember when Biden was in office? They were taking group photos without him at all the big summits because he would get lost in the wilderness. Nobody would know what happened to him. Biden would drool on himself and poop his pants in public, and everybody would say, this is fine. Trump gets in office. He reestablishes world trade, brings record investments in. America's viewed as strong again. And you think we're a laughing stock? We're the laughing stock? You're embarrassed to be American? Come on now. Come on. Is Constantine he said registered Republican. Hashtag doubt. Doubt. Call in 615-737-9996. Constantine, please, by all means, I would love to hear you break it down in full with a conversation. I got a couple of people waiting on the line to talk about the oil tanker that was seized. Dan in Colombia. What's up, Dan?
I guess it's James. Are you trying to say James?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Yeah, I was in the military. The first thing, I don't understand why he pardoned the guy from Honduras. He was one of the victims. He was convicted in the U.S. Okay, now first the tankers. I have no comments on that because I don't know the details on it. But first, those ships, those little boats and stuff, that's murder. By military standards, that is murder.
I'm sorry. Hey, hold on. I just missed what you were saying. What is murder?
Okay, blowing those boats up and blowing those two people up. Now, being in the military, I know Trump never been in. I know most of y'all never been in the military.
Okay.
But the first thing we was taught is you don't attack, you don't do unlawful order. Now, what he did on those boats, that is murder. And the international court probably get involved. And I hope heck if you held accountable for that.
It's never gonna happen. Nobody cares about him blowing up drug dealers in the middle of the ocean.
The United Nations will.
Nobody cares.
The United Nations will. And
they won't. And you know what? Even more so. Nobody cares what the United Nations thinks.
Okay, well, we wind up in World War. He's taking us into World War because
we're not gonna be pulled into a world war because we're blowing up drug dealers in the ocean.
If he blowing them up, Venezuela with China, if he attacks China, we will end up in a world war.
How do you go from blowing up drug dealers to attacking China?
Well, all the oil and stuff they give to China. He's not going to mess with China.
What does that have to do with the? What is?
Have you been in the military?
I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to follow your logic, sir. And no, I haven't been in the military. I have a lot of friends and family members who have, and I respect our veterans very, very much. And I respect you for serving. I appreciate it, actually. But I'm just trying to figure out your logic on how you leapfrog from blowing up drug dealers in the middle of the ocean to war with China.
Dealers? We don't have no evidence.
There actually is evidence. There was like a ton of drugs on the boat. There were kilograms wrapped up on the boat.
Showing it. You know, if they show that, everything be over with. If they show that, if they let those people live, they would have testified. That's the reason he wants to kill them.
Do you know?
Because he's doing it illegal. He's trying to start a war. So when the election comes, he won't do away with the election.
Got you. That's what you think is going to happen?
Well, I think the Democrats are going to impeach him. Right now, so many people are against him, and I'm out here. I look at the cost of what's called my electric bill on double. I hadn't seen no prices come down. All the lies, and people believed it, and they can see it. That's what good mean. And they see that a Christian. What we have done is non-Christian. God don't believe in that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's continue. Let's continue to let the drugs flood into the country. That's totally cool. Do you not understand the steps he's taking to lower prices? Have you seen gas prices coming down? You understand how that's going to ripple through the economy? You've seen the 18. Hold on. I'll let you talk, Dave. I'll let you talk. You've seen the 18 trillion of investments coming in, the reshoring of manufacturing, all the auto plants that are going to be being put up, the AI infrastructure that's being built. That's not going to ripple through the economy at all. The mass deportations, the removing of illegal aliens that are undercutting Americans and their wages from all industries, trucking to construction, that's not going to help the economy.
Okay, let me start back. I'm a retiree from UAW. Now, before Trump got in, we had so many jobs in Columbia. I mean, jobs everywhere. If you go 2 or 3 jobs,
you had jobs everywhere in UAW.
Yeah, here in Columbia, we had all kind of factories around here.
What year?
It was booming.
What year?
That was last year when Biden was in.
Okay, but the UAW, but Dave, the UAW is praising Trump for the tariffs. They're saying that it's going to help the auto workers. Sean Fain.
No, we're not.
Yes, they have. Yes, I have it right. March 26, 2025. In a victory for auto workers, auto tariffs are winning jobs. This is from UAW.org.
Look, I work at the union hall.
Brother, I'm looking at their website. I'm looking at the website, UAW.org. They're praising President Trump for the tariffs and the jobs that are going to be coming back because of it.
I work at the union hall.
I thought you said you were retired. I thought you said you were retired.
I'm retired, but I'm working with the union. I'm not working with GM now.
Okay.
I'm working with UAW right now.
Okay.
So I know better. Y'all can pay.
I mean, I would ask your friends of the UAW why there's an article on their website, UAW.org, in a victory for auto workers, auto tariffs mark the beginning of the end of NAFTA and the free trade disaster.
No. What he trying to do?
Dave, I'm looking at it, man. You said no, like you discounted it completely, but like you're hanging your hat on UAW, and I'm bringing you a UAW source.
See what I'm saying? Let me see what I'm saying. People are talking. They never been in the military. They never seen any of this stuff, and they agree. They claim they're Christian, and they are killing people. And then
what are we supposed to continue to let fentanyl flowing into the country? Are we supposed to let narco terrorists operate with impunity? Is that the Christian thing? Is the Christian thing to do to continue to let our sons and daughters and a generation of Americans die, or do we have an opportunity for righteous anger here and the ability to go on offense and say enough is enough?
Okay. Just tell me this.
See, are you Christian, Dave? Because I find that people that break out it's not Christian tend to not be Christian.
Okay, listen. Let me tell you. First thing, tell me why you let the guy from Honduras win. Just give me an explanation. I'm done with. If you give me a good effort, a good reason why he let the guy was convicted and was spending 40 years in the military prison go. Give me a better reason, and I shut my mouth. I shut up, and I never say anything again. That's all I want to know.
I have nothing for you on the Honduran that was pardoned. To be perfectly honest with you,
I'm talking about.
To be
Why did you let him go?
Dave, to be perfectly honest with you, bud, there's so much news and it moves so fast that I'm not up to speed on everything, admittedly, because I'm just a human.
Well,
if you want to call, tell you what, you want to call back tomorrow, I'll do some in-depth research. I'll do some in-depth research, and I'll have a well-formed opinion on that pardon for you. And I have and also I have no problem admitting you're right on a pardon. I don't. And one pardon is not going to change my opinion on this president and all the good that he's doing for this nation.
He pardoned 1,500 criminals. 1,500 broke in the Capitol.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's on January 6th. It's the darkest day in history. It's, oh my gosh. Thank goodness, Dave, that they got all those praying grandmothers. The golly, 275 FBI informants in the crowd. Oh my gosh, Dave. It took them 5 years. It took them 5 years to find the pipe bomber. They were sitting on evidence, covering it up. They lied nonstop. Don't hit me with the January 6th bovine scatology, Dave. What are you doing?
Just listen.
I'm trying. I'm having a hard time.
Well, you're not trying. You're trying to.
You're bringing up January 6th. Like, what do you think this is? Is it? I'm sorry. The Democrats called and they want your talking points back from 2021.
Well, I want to understand. What's going on. That's all I want to understand. Because being in the military, if they broke in the Capitol, they should have been shot. Everybody was
Dave,
what they taught us in the military. I'm telling you what they taught us in the military.
I feel like you say you're just trying to understand. I feel like I could spend all day with you on the phone, and we wouldn't be able to break that barrier to help you.
Yeah, you can work it if you can. Just like I said, tell me. I'm seeking information. Why you let those people win? I'm seeking information. Why
because the majority of them did absolutely nothing. And then they were held in prisons for years. How many J6ers do you know, Dave? How many people that went into the Capitol on January 6th do you know?
I don't.
Weird.
I'll be honest.
Weird. I happen to know quite a few. And I can tell you from personal experience and personal conversations I've had with them, the treatment that they were given was abysmal. Sitting in there, rotting away, no court dates. They should have been shot. You're crazy. They should have been killed when they broke in that Capitol. They should have been shot. You're crazy. The police officers held the doors open for them.
And some of them heard, some of them what's called. But I'm learning from the military what they told us in the military. You tackle the Capitol, you should have been shot, and that's the way it is.
Wow, Dave.
Unless they show me otherwise, that's what they taught me when I see you.
You're mad about the oil tankers, and we moved the goalpost to January 6th.
No, I'm not mad about no oil tankers.
Yes, you are. You said blowing up drug dealers, and the oil tanker stuff is gonna get us into World War III, and you never clearly made your point, and then you moved the goalpost to January 6th.
It's so much. He's doing so much, and right now. I can't see. I know it's based on vote for, but I can't see him being elected. What I see, if he don't try to do away with the election, he will be impeached.
What are you smoking? He's going to do away with elections? Do you think he's Zelensky or something? What's your stance on Ukraine? Do you support Ukraine?
Yes.
Oh, weird, because he did away with elections because it's the war, Dave. Oh, my gosh. How can we let him get away with that, Dave? What's going on?
No, Russia invaded Ukraine. That's my point. I'm talking about invading Ukraine.
Gotcha.
Russia invaded, and he's scared of Russia.
Gotcha.
Russia do what he wants to him.
Gotcha.
Putin, he a mismatch for Putin.
Gotcha.
He don't have to.
How many more billions should we send to Ukraine?
How many more billions Trump steal? He and his family. They stole billions and billions of dollars.
Yo, Dave, I love you, my brother. I thank you for your military service. I'll pray for you for a heart change. I'll pray.
I pray for all y'all.
I appreciate the prayers, man, and we'll agree to disagree. Thank you for the call. 953 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vault in Shelbyville. Love these guys. New sponsor of the show, but Aaron is just an awesome guy, and I've actually watched his YouTube for quite a while. He runs a whole YouTube channel, Parker Safes and Vaults. He reviews all the safes that they have in stock. These are real law enforcement level security. And Aaron knows security. He was in Air Force security. He's a former park ranger. And now he runs this Christian family business that's been serving Tennessee since 2009. The safes don't just protect rifles and pistols. They'll protect your jewelry, your cash, your passports, photo albums, everything that needs and is worth protecting. And this December, mention the Chris Hand Show, and you're going to receive a free gift with your new safe. This is Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, local company. This is the kind of people that we want to support. 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445. Find reviews of their safes on YouTube. Search for Parker Safes and Vaults, or go to parkersafes.com. 9:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Text line's going bananas. Phone lines are full. YouTube chat is unhinged. Nadine in the YouTube chat said, well, she's not getting any work done this morning. She said, the chat's on fire. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe. Appreciate you guys, as always. 615-737-9986. Let's go to my friend Eric on the road. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
All right. I think I can clear up some of Dave's craziness a little bit. I don't know what the reasoning behind the oil tank procedure is, but as far as the drug boats go, I was in the military too, and Dave's right in that, we're taught the difference between combatants and non-combatants, armed, unarmed, and the proper way to handle different situations. And it seems to me that these drug boat strikes would be better handled legally from an interdiction standpoint. I'm as staunch a Trump supporter as anybody else, but I also know, the guy's human and is as infallible as the rest of us.
Yep. I mean, I'm open, and I appreciate the call. I'm open for a nuanced conversation about the drug boats, whether or not we should blow them up. But when you say it's not Christian to blow up drug dealers, and then you follow up with anyone that went into the Capitol should have been shot, I feel like that's an interesting angle to take. We'll take more of your calls on the way. Plus, we'll get into more of the press conference from Donald Trump yesterday as well. And Erika Kirk going on offense. We'll talk about that also. It's 10 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello there, it is 10 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We have breaking news. A federal judge in Maryland has just ordered the immediate release of Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and it does not appear that he will be detained and deported. The U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes saying that the absence of a removal order prevents the U.S. from removing him from the U.S. She has repeatedly banned the government from removing him from several locations around the world, most recently to Liberia. Happening at this hour, death row inmate Harold Nichols is being put to death. His execution was scheduled for 10 o'clock right now. He was set to die by lethal injection for the 1988 rape and murder of 20-year-old Chattanooga State student Karen Pulley. Here's Fox 17's Chris Knowles.
During police interviews, Harold Wayne Nichols confessed to her murder and to several other rapes in the area. He was sentenced to death in 1990 and was first scheduled for execution in 2020. But COVID-19 delays postponed it.
It's Fox 17 reporting that Karen Pulley's family traveled to Nashville to witness the execution. A WeGo bus carrying 50 passengers crashed this morning near the intersection of Brick Church Pike and West Trinity Lane. Police are saying a box truck collided with the bus while trying to merge. The windshield of the bus knocked out. Several people were transported to the hospital, none with serious injuries. There are some new limits for Tennesseans who are receiving SNAP benefits. Here's Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
So starting next year, you will not be able to use SNAP benefits to buy candy, energy drink, sodas, and sugary drinks.
The changes come after Governor Lee submitted a request to the federal government in August. Maha's RFK Jr. seeing the benefit of those limits.
U.S. taxpayers should not be paying to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes.
There are more than 700,000 Tennesseans now receiving SNAP benefits. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show, YouTube, Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe, free to do. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. I appreciate you guys. I do. And I appreciate all the phone calls, all the text messages, everybody in the YouTube chat. It's been going a little bananas since our caller Dave, huh? Well, little extra excitement in there.
Yeah, a little bit of a wild morning so far.
I like Dave. I like conversations like that.
I hope he calls back tomorrow.
I hope he does. I do. I will look into that Honduran pardon. I pulled it up. I just haven't. I got to do more research.
Yeah, he made it a busy morning.
A lot of people waiting on the line to talk and respond to Dave. Let's go to RJ in Arkansas. What's up, RJ?
That's actually AJ. How you doing, Fred?
What's up, man? To be honest with you, Mason's been messing up names all morning on the phone lines.
He has. That's all right. It's probably hard to hear me. I hope you can hear me well.
I can hear you. What you got?
How in the heck does he go from it's murdering the drug dealers to drug runners, and that's murder, but it's okay to shoot the guys that are protesting in January 6th? What is wrong with that dude?
I don't know. There was a lot of interesting mental gymnastics from our friend Dave.
A lot of BS in there.
Yeah, and I appreciate the call, AJ. And he also said that blowing up the drug boats will get us into World War III. Mike in Nashville on the oil tanker. What's up, Mike? How we doing, man?
Yeah, how you doing, Chris? Hey, Chris, you remember that commercial that used to be on TV a long time ago? This is what happens to your brain when you're on drugs. Well, that guy Dave, this is what happens to you when you're a Democrat, Chris. That's the way you talk when you've been brainwashed by the Democratic Party. You go brain dead just like that guy. Hey, let me ask you a question, Chris. I know people that have sold drugs before. That guy said that those people on those drug boats were innocent people. Let me ask you a question. Do you know of any drug dealer that is not armed at all times? You mean to tell me that he thinks that those guys are running drugs into the United States, a boat full of drugs, and they don't have no guns and no weapons on there? He's saying that Trump killed innocent people. I'm 100% sure that those guys on that boat had some kind of firearm in their possession for their protection on their journey to the United States of America. Can you answer that question for me?
Oh, they 100% had some sort of firearm, and I appreciate the call. And let's also not discount the fact that the drugs almost certainly had fentanyl in them, which would kill thousands upon thousands of Americans. So, we have hundreds of thousands of Americans dying every year because of those drug overdoses. Yes, I support President Trump stepping on the gas, stomping on it, and going on offense against these losers. I don't know why you wouldn't be for that. Bobby, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Bob?
Hey, nothing much, Chris. I kind of like I call him Pops, man. He Pops over at the Union Hall. He ain't only smoking on that blunt, brother. He's sitting at Hennessy somewhere or another. I can tell you right now. Because I've been down to Union Hall. My dad's a retiree from the Ford Glass plant. And, But anyway, I was going to talk about the tankers and everything. But
yes, sir.
Hey, I see that that's our oil. How much money have we sent to Venezuela over the years, give them money and stuff? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and I've talked to some guys that's been in Vietnam. My dad was in Korea. And, they're all for bombing these boats. I mean, and we better be looking at our backyard. We've always went across seas to take care of stuff. This stuff's been going on in our backyard for years, brother. We got to stop it before it gets worse.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and I appreciate the call, Bobby. Thanks so much. Let's go to Alan in Lebanon. What's up, Alan?
Hey, buddy. Really, tell you the truth, I don't know where to start. Number one, we got the best president that we've ever had.
Yep.
Number two, I think we need to take that tanker and replenish all the oil that Biden almost emptied out on
100%.
our reserve.
Yep.
And this guy named Dave that was just talking to you. Oh my Lord, I don't even know where to start on him, but he's definitely got to be a Democrat, thinking he's a Republican.
And he said he used to work at UAW, so it's almost like Democrat confirmed there. But my favorite part of the call, and I appreciate you reaching out, Alan, was when he said, the tariffs don't help anything, and Trump isn't doing anything good. It's like, literally, I have an article here from UAW.org, praising Trump for his tariffs, praising the beginning of the end of NAFTA. So, I mean, consider the source. 615-737-9986. Go to Mike on the road. Wants to talk about the drug boats. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. What do you got?
So my question or comment would be twofold. One, I kind of agree on the drug boats. Like, hey, we got to show them that this and that, who's in charge and what's going on. But the Coast Guard is overworked, and that's kind of their primary job is drug interdiction. But they put the Coast Guard under DHS. And I served 22 years in the military, and I can tell you straight, going around and messing around in Venezuela has been on some staff studies for quite a long time because it's a near-peer threat. And if you haven't done the research on why they're a threat with the China influence, the Russia influence, and other factors that can impact us when they're so close to us in the same hemisphere, I'd challenge you to do that research and talk about that a little bit to make people's eyes kind of open a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's not a Democrat.
No, but this is also part of the pressure campaign, right? We don't want Chinese and Russian influence in our hemisphere. This is part of the reason why they want Maduro out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's all baked in the cake. But blowing up drug boats is something I think every American can get behind. Let's go to Brian on the road. What's up, Brian?
Hey, bro, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What do you got?
Okay, well, I got my phone a little further away than normal because I'm driving. But man, I can't. Nobody can say enough about this guy. He's telling us he's a product. I'm assuming of public schools, and that he's a product of our military. And he talks like that to you, and then he wants to claim that he's UAW. And I hope he's listening because it's like Mike. The first Mike called in and said, "This is what your brain is. This is what your brain looks like when you're a Democrat." I mean, everybody gets pissed at Trump for calling people stupid, but call it what it is. I was taught in school: if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yep.
He's stupid. That's stupidity. We got too many people like that. But I appreciate you always pushing back and standing your ground because I know it's tough. And I love you.
Hey,
I'll see you, bro.
Love you back, man. Appreciate the call. One of the things that he was mad about, our caller Dave, was that Trump isn't helping the economy. And you can make the argument that things are still tough, but I'm making the argument that Trump is making the steps to help, whether it's drilling in oil, whether it's the things that we've seen in the big, beautiful bill, the no tax on tips, the no tax on Social Security, the no tax on overtime, the reshoring of manufacturing. If we were really about to lose our shorts economically, why would we have all of these business leaders investing so much in America? Why? You don't think that they have their own independent firms analyzing the situation, analyzing the economy, trying to figure out what the best move is for their company, and they're all deciding at the exact same time that the best move is America, that greener pastures are here. But discount that completely. Listen to the TV. They tell you that everything is bad. Listen to the Democrats. Listen to the mainstream media. They tell you, we're due for a recession. Inflation's going to spike. That's what they continually try to tell us. And I would just say, what are you seeing from the business community that gives you that idea? Just yesterday, inside the White House, Michael Dell is back. This is after he donated $6.25 billion for the Trump kid accounts. So all the kids born within the next 3 years are going to have a savings account that's going to be invested. And I mean, it's a massive deal. So he donated that money for the Trump accounts, and now he's back in the White House yesterday saying he's gonna actually invest a few $100 billion more.
The number that you're at for investment, future investment?
Well, if I think about all the investment that we make with the American companies that are adding capacity, particularly around semiconductors, it's several $100 billion.
I think that's right. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It makes the $6 billion sound very, very small.
Trump is trashing the economy. Meanwhile, he has business leaders lining up ready to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in America. Wouldn't that be a poor investment if he's about to trash the economy? Don't you think that these guys would be a bit more risk averse if he's tanking the economy? I don't understand. I don't understand. Also, during the same press conference, Trump said that he's going to get the Salesman of the Year award, or he did get the Salesman of the Year award from Boeing because of how many planes he's helped them sell. Not just how many planes the federal government has bought, but how many planes other governments have bought as a part of the rebalancing of trade that we've seen on the global stage from the Trump administration. It's positively impacting American companies, and he's going to get a little plaque. He got a little plaque for it.
Been 3 or 4 or 5 trillion less because people were leaving. So it was a big turnaround. In 10 months, the $18 trillion, it's a record. There's never been a country that's gotten anywhere near that. In the Middle East, when I left the Middle East, we brought back $3 trillion and lots of Boeing airplanes, like 300. And Boeing gave me the award for the greatest salesman in the history of Boeing, which was a nice little award. I have a little plaque. The greatest, I think I've sold 1,000 Boeing planes. Can you believe it? Now all they have to do is make them. Okay? They got to make them, but they will.
They will. Since taking office in January, President Trump he's claiming credit for 1,000 Boeing aircraft sales. This is planes that are being sold to the American government, planes that are being sold to foreign governments. And there was also a DHS announcement of a $140 million contract for 6 Boeing 737s dedicated to ICE deportation flights. They're making a lot of money. And they're making money all over the world because of Trump's economic steps. Yet he's still fighting the Fed. We saw them lower interest rates yesterday, but he was like, man, the Fed thinks that growth is inflation. And this was a big point that he was making yesterday. Growth does not equal inflation. President Trump yesterday inside the White House.
Results, the market should go up, and we should keep driving it up and have it keep going up and let it be much, much bigger, much, much better. And, growth doesn't mean inflation. They're always afraid that, we have, and if there is inflation, that's okay, then we can slow it down. But we should be able to do a lot better than 3 and 4. We're scheduled to be at 4%, which is pretty amazing because we have a deadhead Fed hair. I mean, this guy, the head of the Federal Reserve is a stiff. And, you fight that. It's amazing. We fight that, and yet interest rates are going down, except with him, not too much. He did a rather small number that could have been doubled, at least doubled. And that's the other thing. I think the rates for the United States are always the lowest in the world because without us, there is no world. Without this economy, there's no world.
I love that. I love the energy. Without the U.S. economy, there is no world. Think about that for a second. That's a position of strength. And he's 100% right. Without the U.S. economy, the world doesn't move.
A number that could have been doubled, at least doubled. And that's the other thing. I think the rates for the United States are always the lowest in the world because without us, there is no world. Without this economy, there's no world. You could go to some of these wonderful countries that you think are so great. Well, one of the reasons they're great is because we allowed them to get rich off of us. We didn't charge them anything. You look at some of the deals. I don't want to use Switzerland as an example, but Switzerland paid almost nothing in terms of a tariff or a tax or whatever you want to call it, license. They paid nothing, and they're paying now. They're paying a fair amount. I had them at 39%, but I decided to be nice. I was nice, and I think they like us a little bit better. But the money you're talking about is enormous. Our country is a very rich country. But if we do well, the market should go up and the value of our country should go up. And if we do poorly, the market then should go down. It shouldn't be the opposite. And if we go up, we should encourage it to go up more. And those numbers, when you say 3% of GDP, we're 4% of GDP, they should be much higher. So, I wanted to say it, I do say it, I believe it, and we have to get a mindset that when a country is doing well, you don't want to kill the growth. That's what they're doing.
I stand with President Trump. I don't know how you can't trust this guy on the economy with what you're seeing. And if you want to fall into the left-wing mainstream media narrative that everything is crumbling around you, and you're not going to acknowledge the steps that this administration has taken so far to fix things, I mean, listen, you're going to be just dragged kicking and screaming into prosperity. I think halfway through 2026, we are going to be witnessing a boom because of all the steps that's been taken. Took Reagan 14 months to turn the economy around after Carter. 14 months. We've had about 11 with President Trump in office now. I think 11 months. 11 months. I think he's done a pretty damn good job. I'm going to keep trusting him. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. On the way, we will talk about Erika Kirk. She officially went on offense yesterday. Candace Owens responded. And at this point, if you are still Team Candace, I think there's something wrong. I do. I think you need to wake up. You're in QAnon territory. It's 1022. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Shane Ring's Shane's a good guy. He's a friend, and I like him a lot. And he runs a great insurance company. You might need insurance right now. You might be kicking yourself because you missed open enrollment. And I've been there before. When I was a younger guy, I missed open enrollment. I was like, what the heck do I do? And well, we hoped and prayed for a year, and then we got it back. You understand that this is the biggest misconception. This is the biggest myth in health insurance, that you have to get in on open enrollment. That's just what the big guys want you to believe. The facts of the matter is Shane Ring and Cover Nash can get you covered right now with no waiting and no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, no problem. You're just sick of overpriced junk insurance? I feel you. Shane Ring can take care of this. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, and more. Plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses. Stop overpaying. Stop waiting. Stop thinking you're stuck. Call Cover Nash today. 615-465-0023. That's the direct line to Shane Ring's desk. 615-465-0023. Or find them online, covernash.com.
How'd you like your water bill to go up 150%? We'll tell you where that could actually happen. And a Nashville church is in ruins after an early morning fire. That and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Mason Fleming producing. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on all the social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, True Social, at Chris Hand on air. That's at Chris Hand on air. All one word. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. Appreciate you guys doing so. Find us on YouTube and Rumble as well. That's where you can watch the show. There'll be video to go along with all the audio you hear on your radio. You can go back and watch at your convenience. Should you miss something or want to see it again, it's always up there on YouTube. And we appreciate you joining us over there. Hit like, hit subscribe. Help us grow that digital footprint. Free to do. And it's actually a huge, huge help. And it adds something. It really does. Like for this next clip, I got the audio from Erika Kirk. She was on Outnumbered with Harris Faulkner yesterday, and she's on Outnumbered, and she's finally broken her silence on Candace Owens. And she doesn't say Candace Owens, but for all intents and purposes, it's Candace Owens. She goes right up to the line, looks over, doesn't mention her name. But we know exactly who she's talking about. And this is one of those times where Super Talk TV does make a huge difference because seeing her face, seeing the anger, the anger, the anguish, the pain, it adds a whole nother element to this statement from Erika Kirk. She is pissed off that, as she puts it, evil people are monetizing Charlie's death and attacking her family and the families of those close to Charlie and TPUSA. This was Erika Kirk yesterday on Fox News.
But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way, and they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard, and I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this. No.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
No, it's not, especially when you do understand that hundreds of thousands of dollars are being made every single episode. There's been 30-plus episodes on the investigations into Charlie Kirk via Candace Owens. Candace responded, by the way. You know, at one point, Candace said the only person that would make her stop would be Erika Kirk. Well, Erika Kirk went on Fox News yesterday and said, please stop. Enough. Candace responded yesterday. We'll bring you that response when we return. 1031 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Some Murray County water bills could be on the rise and by a lot. Channel 4's Braden Ross.
Columbia Power is asking the Columbia City Council to approve rate increases of 20% per year on their more than 26,000 customers. Over 5 years, that adds up to almost 150%.
The money would fund a project that moves Columbia Power and Water's intake in the Duck River downstream so they can increase the intake and solve a water problem in the area. They would also build a new water treatment facility. The project wouldn't be finished until 2029. Columbia City Council is taking a vote on the rate changes at a meeting tonight. They would need it to pass on a second reading before it's officially approved. A church has gone up in flames in East Nashville this morning. The fire breaking out at the Scott Avenue Church of Christ just before 6 o'clock. The fire has caused extensive damage, including the collapse of walls and the church steeple. No injuries reported. The congregation is asking for prayer as they decide how to move on. The U.S. trade deficit has unexpectedly shrunk to its lowest level since the pandemic.
Commerce Department figures show the goods and services trade gap falling nearly 11% between August and September to $52.8 billion. The consensus was for a rise in the deficit to about $65 billion. Monthly swings in the value of U.S. exports to imports have come with the Trump administration's imposition and then cancellation of tariffs.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Meantime, initial jobless claims jumped 44,000 to 236,000 last week. That's well above the consensus figure. The week before, jobless claims had plummeted unexpectedly. The differing reports pointing to the difficulty in adjusting the data to account for the holidays. That is the latest news. We have weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, not a little sure, but super sure. The seismic shift is coming. Super sure, coming soon.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res. We love these guys in my house. Well, it's a necessity, honestly. We need these guys more often than not. 4 kids, 2 dogs, mystery stains, dirt, grime, just all sorts of just wonky stuff. The other day there was slime. You ever try to get slime out of a carpet? You know who can? My friends at Zero Res. It's time for the holiday clean. You got family coming over the holidays. They're not going to tell you this, but they're going to be thinking it. Your carpets are gross. Don't let them think that during Christmas. Get your carpets clean. 2 rooms plus a hallway or stairs, $129. 3 rooms plus a hallway or stairs, $149. You're not going to beat this deal anywhere. And they use their exclusive ZR water. They are the Maha of carpet cleaning. No soap, no harsh residue, no chemicals, just clean, pristine carpets. These guys are the best. Get your carpets cleaned before family comes over for the holidays. Do it with Zero Res Nashville. I swear by them. Once they clean your house, you're going to swear by them too. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. Or find them online. ZeroResNashville.com. 1038 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can find us all over the place. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial if you just want to listen. If you want to watch the show, Super Talk TV's up and running on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friend. Any digital platform you're listening or watching on has a share button. And by sharing it, it does help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. So we appreciate you doing that. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. I was happy to see this yesterday. Erika Kirk finally breaking her silence. And I say finally, I don't think she honestly needed to, but I think she's reached a boiling point with anger when it comes to one Candace Owens. I played this clip a minute ago. It's a little bit longer than the audio clips I usually play, but I think it's worth playing again. It's about 2 minutes long. But this is Erika Kirk yesterday on the Harris Faulkner Outnumbered show on Fox News.
But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the hand-picked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
No, it's not. And shout out to Erika Kirk for the strength that she put on full display, going out there, addressing these rumors and conspiracy theories. She shouldn't have to do this. It's only been 3 months since Charlie passed. It's getting to a point where this is just ridiculous. It's absurd. The people that Candace Owens has accused of killing Charlie, and mind you, some of this has come in dreams, okay? Egyptians, Jewish donors, the French, special forces, guys wearing maroon. That actually happened. She said, it's weird people are wearing maroon shirts. Everybody should be keeping an eye on that. Rob McCoy, Mikey McCoy, TPUSA, Israel, Jews in general, a B cult, a family member of Charlie's producer, the U.S. military, the CIA, the FBI, Donald Trump, and Erika herself. Did I get it all? I think I got it all. All while she makes hundreds of thousands of dollars profiting off Charlie's death. And she says she's not. She says she's not profiting off Charlie's death. You know, for a while, Candace said that if Erika asked her to stop, that would be the only person that could get her to stop, would be Erika Kirk. Well, Erika's out there right now saying stop. And what do we get from Candace Owens yesterday? We get her openly mocking Erika Kirk.
Is this idea that, well, now the widow has spoken. We're not dealing with the widow. We want the CEO and the chairman of Turning Point USA to answer. Okay? If you can't compartmentalize, then I don't see how you're going to be able to lead this organization in the future because Charlie worked. We knew who Charlie was because he was authentic. Okay. He didn't just go, well, I only make time for like big pocket donors. Okay. He was sitting college campuses. He was speaking to people, understanding people. He was changing his ideas and he was changing minds. And you are not changing my mind about the fact that something weird happened that day and that TPUSA is acting funny because you give it an impassioned plea and speak about Nehemiah on Fox News. Okay? None of it makes any sense.
Got it. So you're gonna continue profiting off the death of Charlie Kirk. This is after you said that the only person that could get you to stop would be your husband or Erika. This is something that Candace Owens said originally in one of the first episodes where she was diving into this. The only person that can get me to stop would be my husband or Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk is out there today. Candace Owens seems to forget, and I happen to think that the money coming in has made her a bit forgetful.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erika Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. Asked her.
No one outside of my husband or Erika Kirk has the power to shut me up. Well, Erika Kirk is asking you to stop. Erika Kirk thinks you're unhinged. It's time to stop. We don't want to hear about your dreams. We don't want to hear about your theories. You're a lunatic. And to all the people who have actual questions and actual frustrations with how the investigation's been handled, the lack of transparency, you understand that a voice like Candace Owens screaming into the wilderness about her dreams and about the Egyptian planes and the French that are coming after her discredits all of you. All of you. And nobody wants to talk about the fact that Tyler Robinson confessed in a group chat on Discord, confessed in text messages, got turned in by his family. If Tyler Robinson didn't do it and he's a patsy, wouldn't you expect Tyler Robinson's family to be speaking out? Wouldn't you expect Tyler Robinson's dad to be on the Candace Owens show every single day saying they set my son up, he didn't do anything wrong? We haven't heard any of that. Nothing. Weird. That's weird. Just asking questions. Candace even went so far to say that Turning Point USA should hire her. Because she could make psychological operations seem far more authentic. And it's a huge tell because I think that this has all just been a game for her. I think that she is just profiting off of this, and that's been the goal the entire time. And she kind of lays it out. She's mocking Erika on her show yesterday. Mind you, after saying the only person that can make her stop is Erika Kirk, mocking Erika on her show yesterday. And she says, Turning Point USA should actually put me on the payroll because I can make a psychological operation look organic.
And I hate to say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic. Okay.
Emotional. Oh, yeah. Because, that her husband and the father of her children wasn't just murdered in front of the entire world 3 months ago.
Okay. If you really care about your team, answer the questions. Okay. Just demystify the entire event. Come out, sit down, answer the questions so people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of this multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children, okay? The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids, so you can't critique them. Not a good idea. Okay, it may work in PR world. You guys, I know how it's an obvious PR campaign. It's never been more obvious of a psychological operation. I actually wish they would put me on payroll so I could help them make these things look more organic.
Oh, there's the tell right there. Candace Owens can make lies look organic. Is that what she's been doing the entire time? She also to be like, why don't you just come out and answer the questions? Oh, yes, let's dive into the B cult. Let's dive into the guys in maroon shirts. No, why would they need to? Why does Turning Point USA owe Candace Owens anything? Why do they need to answer to her unhinged rants based off of dreams, by her own admission? Why? Candace Owens keeps getting bombshell revelations sent to her email that go absolutely nowhere. She's a psycho. She's a psycho. She is psychotic, and she's profiteering off of this. 100%. And there's nothing that you can tell me that would change my mind about Candace Owens at this point. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. When she started just asking questions, I listened. I listened with an open mind. But she's gone completely unhinged. And anybody doesn't see that. I think that you've been had the wool pulled over your eyes. I guess would be the nicest way to put it. You've had the wool pulled over your eyes. And you don't realize that this is just a money-making scheme at this point. 615-737-9986. Anthony in Nashville. What's up, man? You're next on Super Talk.
What happened to that lady? The last thing I remember good coming out of Candace Owens, well, at least the last thing I remember checking from her, was about Minneapolis, or not Minneapolis, but BLM. That was the last thing I remember from her, and that was a good, deep dive. What happened to her?
I don't know, man. Now she's. Have you seen the maroon shirts? She's asking viewers to isolate individuals in the crowd in maroon shirts because that means that they're part of the military operation against Charlie.
Oh, bless her. She. I won't say I follow her intensely. I just was following Daily Wire, and she was one of those voices from the beginning that seemed worthwhile at least paying attention to, and. I watched her a little bit up until the BLM, which was a great find. But after that, something about her was like, she seems to be a little bit unhinged. I was like, we'll just leave her alone and watch what she does for now. But I'm kind of glad that's what I did because she has lost all sense of control, all sense of rationale. She sounds like she's being very thoughtful, or not thoughtful, but at least rational about her thinking. But she just seems to be all over the place, which just makes it even worse for her. Because as people just think this through, it's like, what is she trying to say? And nothing just screams reasoning or logic other than the money that she's making probably from her profiting off of it, which is sad to see.
Yep.
Considering.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. Here's the thing. Erika Kirk doesn't need to answer these questions. And she made the point yesterday, like, you don't want to taint the jury pool. And I've said this before. Like, if we taint the jury pool, then what good does that do? We have a suspect in custody who I'm pretty convinced is the guy that shot Charlie Kirk. The DNA evidence on the gun, the confessions, the fact that his family isn't screaming that he's a patsy. I mean, those are pretty big deals that just conveniently get ignored. Just don't worry about that. Let's talk about the guys in the maroon shirts. But not tainting a jury pool is a real thing. And this is part of the reason why they don't need to address every wild accusation. Erika Kirk made that point yesterday.
We have a trial coming up. Unfortunately, that trial is in a long time. What I want to be mindful of for people is that this was a murder. This is not something that what I don't want to have happen is for this to taint the jury pool. I don't. I want my husband, I want justice for my husband more than any other person on the internet. Any other person in this world. That was my husband and the father to my kids. We will make sure, and we have been, turning over every single stone, going down every single lead. So when these people say, oh, they haven't talked about this or done that, how do you know?
Amen.
You're not in those meetings with the attorneys and the prosecutors. You have no idea. And why would we share that information with the internet to what? Then give the defense more stuff that's not true? Like, it's just, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the truth is the truth.
At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the truth is the truth. Erika Kirk, from my vantage point, has been doing everything the exact way she needs to. She has been handling this with so much strength and so much grace. It's unbelievable. And every day she goes home And she has a 3-year-old that says, "Where's daddy?" And she still has to deal with this BS. She smiles. Oh, she's not grieving. She cries. Oh, those are fake tears. Oh, have you seen all of her jewelry? This woman has been put through the ringer. Candace Owens said the only person that can make her stop is Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk said stop yesterday. Enough is enough. Candace Owens just flashed a huge middle finger back to her. Insanity. I stand with Erika Kirk, and I stand with Turning Point USA, and I'm done with the insanity of Candace Owens. She has tanked her career. There's no coming back from that. How does Candace Owens walk this back? How does she become a respectable member of the conservative movement? Again, she can't. She's turned her podcast into a true crime drama. It's a Making a Murderer series. And she's completely lost all credibility in my eyes. And yet somehow, people still think that she is a worthwhile source. It's wild to me. It's wild. I hope Candace gets the help she needs. 1054, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. 10:59 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Josh Tifo in studio. You've had a big couple days behind you, and you got a big couple days in front of you. Texas and Tennessee.
Yeah, a big week for Turning Point. On Monday, the governor of Texas and the lieutenant governor, they pulled out all the stops, and they had this enormous partnership event with our top 50 Turning Point students. And I knew they put out a press bulletin. I was expecting some outlets. And we step out there, there's like 30, 35 cameras. And the past few days, it's actually been getting play, not just nationally, but internationally.
Let's go.
So the whole world knows that we are working actively with Texas to put a chapter on every high school and every college over the next several years. I'm thrilled, and our students are thrilled.
It's huge, man. It's exciting, and you've been behind the scenes putting that work in. Josh is an unsung hero at Turning Point USA with all the work that he's been able to do. It's truly inspiring. And it's coming to a state near you. We could have some big news starting tomorrow on Tennessee. Josh will talk about all of that. Plus, he'll take your questions on any and everything at 615-737-9986. A lot to get to, only a little bit of time. Tifo Thursdays. Doesn't flow the same.
It doesn't, but you know what? It's better than nothing. I'm thrilled to be here.
It's true. Amen. It's 11 o'clock. We'll talk with Josh next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Big time.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. A dramatic escalation with Venezuela. The U.S. seizing an oil tanker off the coast.
All of this is what we're hearing is about putting pressure on the president of Venezuela, Maduro, who the United States believes is an illegitimate president, that he was not elected fairly, and they simply want him to step down. So now the question is this seizure a one-off? Is this something that the administration is going to do just to put pressure on him and then they're going to back off? Or is this something that we're going to start to see happen every week?
That's Ann Flaherty reporting. Here's Karen Travers at the White House.
The president has also for weeks now been promising that very soon there could be another phase of this operation by the United States, talking about land operations. The president last week said that the U.S. knows the targets that they could go after inside Venezuela to take out the drug cartels, saying that there are land routes and houses that they could potentially target, but the president hasn't given any indication of when and how that would happen.
And the U.S. Senate today voting on competing health care proposals, neither of which is expected to pass. A federal judge has ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia immediately released from ICE custody. He's the man who'd been living in Maryland, who was mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador in March, then returned to the U.S. The Trump administration accuses him of having gang ties, which he denies. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest.
Most recently, the Salvadoran native has been held in ICE custody in Pennsylvania as he awaits trial in Tennessee on charges that he was part of a human smuggling ring. The administration has pledged to send him back out of the country. Now, a Maryland-based judge who's been overseeing his mistaken deportation case since March has ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia released from federal custody. Judge Paula Sinise says Abrego Garcia has not been ordered removed from the country and that there's no legal basis for his continued detention.
Initial claims for state unemployment benefits jumping 44,000 to a seasonally adjusted 236,000 for the week ending December 6th, well above the consensus figure. Both the plunge in numbers the week before and the surge in filings last week being attributed to the difficulty in adjusting the data to account for the holidays. And walk into any American classroom from kindergarten to high school, utter the phrase 6-7, and watch what happens. ABC's Jim Ryan says those sequential digits have become a cultural phenomenon.
Some trace the expression to a 2024 song by rapper Skrilla.
6-7, I just bit right on that.
Others tag it to Charlotte Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball, who happens to be 6'7". A third theory is that it doesn't mean anything, that it's just an inside joke among Gen Alpha. Regardless, the In-N-Out burger chain got so tired of hearing this,
Yes, number 6-7.
that its ordering system now skips from 66 to 68. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:07 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV is up on Facebook and Rumble and YouTube, all the things. Hit like, hit share, subscribe, and all that. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. In studio with Josh Tifo, Senior Director for Turning Point USA. You've had a big couple of days with the Turning Point fam. We'll get to the Erika Kirk stuff, which was unbelievable. But I think it's also important to really highlight the stuff that doesn't get the play. The Erika Kirk stuff is going to be the lead on a lot of the stories today when it comes to Turning Point USA. But what you've been able to do behind the scenes, we need to honestly just give you a huge thanks. The ripple effects of what you're doing in Texas and Oklahoma and Florida and soon to be here, they're going to be felt for generations. Like, you're planting trees for shade that you're not going to sit beneath. And I just want to say thank you for starters, because you are an unsung hero in all of this. And it's truly, truly awesome. So with that being said, explain what you got done in Texas yesterday. On Monday, excuse me.
On Monday. So very thankful to the governor and the lieutenant governor who just pulled out all the stops and planned this larger-than-life event on the steps of the governor's mansion with our top 50 high school and college leaders. I mean, more press than I've seen at an event in a long time. And the things they said about Turning Point, the way that they endorsed us, the things they said about Erika and her future leadership, how they talked so shamelessly about faith. They were so unashamed. I know that they're both Christians and they talk about that privately sometimes on air, and they didn't care. They didn't care about any of the pushback, and they talked about the faith aspect of Club America. The governor actually, in defending what he was doing with Turning Point, brought out the FCA example, Fellowship for Christian Athletes, and he said, well, we have FCA chapters all over, and you don't seem to have a problem with that. What's wrong with Club America's? And soon after that in the Q&A, because of course virtually all the questions were negative, some sort of pushback, I talked about the power of living in a state where you have a Club America in virtually every high school. I mean, what if that is when our high schoolers learn about Jesus? That is when our high schoolers learn about the founding of our country. And may we not forget, we were founded as a Christian nation. Amen. I know a lot of you know that, but don't know why. So the Whitefield revival that happened throughout the colonies before the Revolutionary Wars, the only reason why we have a country in the first place, the reason why there were enough crazy people to fight the British was because a lot of them just got saved. And they knew what would happen if they died. They're like, well, we're going to go to heaven. If we don't fear death, then what can we do for our kids and for our grandkids that will make a difference for the kingdom of God? The only reason why we're a country in the first place is because we were founded as a Christian nation, and there were all these crazy new converts from the Whitefield revival who went and fought the British because they cared more about their descendants than they cared about their own lives. And that is the vibe that I'm getting increasingly from American culture today. I look at where a lot of the big politicians in the GOP were several years ago, and never in a million years would I expect them to do a larger-than-life press conference that ends up getting international coverage, talking about how we want to put Club America chapters on every high school in the state so that our students can learn about Jesus. I mean, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I feel like I'm living in Charlie's wildest dream. And that was what started all of this. There was a meeting a few weeks before Charlie died where Charlie pitched his big vision to a number of key executives, board members, investors at an event, a private event a few weeks before he died. And he put the charge on us to put 20,000 Club America chapters on high schools all over the country and essentially create that inverse culture you've heard me obsess over the last 3 months. And I think that's why I started focusing on these state partnerships days after he died. This was the last thing he ever told me to do. This was the last thing he ever told me and others to do. And I got to work. I look at how we got Florida done. We just immediately reached out to 6 or 7 people who knew Governor DeSantis. And we pushed and we pushed and we pushed. And to his great credit, he was the first state outside of Oklahoma to do this. He went so big. And I also love what happened after that. So we had our press conference, which had pretty good coverage, where DeSantis made some amazing promises, where Stassi, the education commissioner, came out and promised to come after any leftist who tried to suppress our students, keep us from forming groups. And then his office reaches out after and says, hey, we've got a bit of a problem. So we have so many invites from Turning Point chapters across Florida. ever since the governor made this announcement. We can't do all of them. How about you bring 150 of the top Florida leaders to the governor's mansion so he can address them all at the same time? And he rolled out the red carpet, and they got to explore the mansion and take photos.
Cool.
We were there for a couple hours. An important thing is happening. I am watching one by one the governors who have been entrusted before God to build the future welfare of their state. They're taking ownership of what future generations will look like in their state. I've seen this from Florida. I've seen this from Texas. We're going to see this from Tennessee tomorrow, so more on that. Very excited. And we're pre-planning several other events, and that's what needs to happen. Every GOP governor in this country needs to ask, what can I do to make sure there's a Turning Point chapter on every high school and college in my state? And then what can I do to actively help their field team execute this goal? Because, ask yourself what kind of society you want to live in. Do you want to live in a society where almost all of the young people have values and have purpose and have some type of faith foundation? They want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to build businesses. That's the type of country that I want to live in. That's the vision that Charlie cast for us a few weeks before he died. And to all of you out there listening who are helping us achieve Charlie's dream, we appreciate you. And I promise we're just getting started.
Yesterday, Erika Kirk is on Harris Faulkner's Outnumbered, and it's getting a lot of play, but she says, why haven't you answered or responded to a lot of the noise? And she's like, I feel like Nehemiah, we're building. Like, I'm not going to come down. And when she said that, you immediately popped into my mind because I know the work that you're doing behind the scenes, and it doesn't get as publicized, but this is not easy stuff to do. So what do these conversations, how do they go behind the scenes? What are the holdups? Because it can't all be smooth like it was with DeSantis. I'm sure that there are other states out there that have given you pushback. What does the pushback look like, and what's your response?
And with DeSantis, I'm very thankful that he did this event. It took some time to get all that done because I'm not personal friends with him. We've met at a few events and spoken at a few events throughout the years, but I was friends with a lot of people in his circle. So the way that we got the state partnerships done and the way that we'll continue to is honestly the same pitch that I have for our wonderful investors. I know many of you are listening who give a lot of money to Turning Point and to the Club America build out. I pitch the vision. I pitch what it would look like to live in a country where almost every high schooler is exposed to our faith values and to our political values and to our family values when they're in high school. If high school becomes the place where they are hit with the truth more than they are hit with lies. And it's almost verbatim the same thing I'm saying to a billionaire asking them to fund this as I am talking to someone in the media asking them to cover one of the events. Same things I say when I'm talking to a governor's chief of staff. And I'm saying, you fight all these political battles. You just did the Senate bill or you just had that proclamation. Imagine how this would be easier if most of your population had a strong ideological conservative foundation. And that's the future I pitch. I just say, imagine what your state looks like if there's a Club America in every high school. Help me do it.
And I think that's the important thing to highlight, what you just said right there. You're building the foundation. You're not exactly going in and telling kids what to think on this geopolitical issue or this domestic policy. You're building the foundation, the love for not just the Lord, but for the Constitution, free markets, small government. These are the foundation that we need for our kids.
And one thing that I have to throw in here, you look at the larger-than-life public appearances and speeches Erika has done ever since a few days after Charlie has died, and that she has been incredible. She's the reason why all of this is possible. She's the reason why politicians who didn't want to talk to me 3-4 months ago are now rolling out the red carpet for us. But you look at all of the work that Erika has done and I have done to bring on this era of incredible growth. What's the hidden story there? The field team, which has had to grow our infrastructure from 1,200 chartered chapters the day Charlie died to now 3,000 chartered high school chapters in 90 days. I am unaware of any nonprofit organization in world history that has gone from 1,200 chapters to 3,000 chapters in 90 days. Well, that's the type of stuff that Harvard Business Review should be writing about. And I got to give a shout out. He's actually going to be one of the speakers tomorrow. Nick Coca, who is the national head of Club America, is actually the third most tenured employee at Turning Point. So me and Tyler are tied for first. And a lot of people don't know about Nick. He's the head of Club America. So when Erika gives a speech that's seen by 100 million people, or I put together a state partnership with a governor, He's the one who works with his team and says, okay, so we're going to have an avalanche of interest. How are we going to start 30 chapters a day? That's his job, and he has been a workhorse for 90 days. So I'm thrilled that you guys are going to hear from him directly. He's one of the speakers in the lineup at tomorrow's event.
Yeah, Nick is a great guy. I've worked with him quite a bit. A huge fan of what Nick's doing. But I think it's also important to point out that Nick's staff is, on average, under 25. Like the overwhelming majority of his staff are recent college grads in their early 20s. How do you do what you're doing with the youngest of the young in the workforce?
So the reason we're able to do it, number one, is the culture Charlie set. And you saw this when he was assassinated, and just about everybody showed up for work a few days later and said, now's the time to fight.
That was one of my favorite things, because the email went out and it said, guys, work is closed until the following Monday, which would have been the Monday after the memorial service. And everybody showed up the next day.
Well, the staff, and a lot of them from around the country, not just in the Phoenix area, came to headquarters because they wanted to help plan the memorial. And when I showed up there that week to work on things with Erika and the team, I'll never forget what I saw. I saw people sitting at their desks typing, getting things ready for the memorial, which was just this huge logistical feat, literally working while they were crying. As they were grieving, they knew that they had to do work to honor Charlie's memory. Even though we weren't telling them to do it, they knew that's what Charlie would want. And that's the feeling I had ever since the morning after. It was just, what would Charlie want us to do right now? And a lot of us just jumped into action because of that commander's intent he instilled in the organization. And number two, the quality of staff you are seeing organization-wide, and the reason why we'll be able to double the infrastructure in 2026, because praise God, we're having a huge fundraising month, and it looks like if people keep giving, we'll be positioned to double the entire organization next year, which is a crazy thing to say. Erika announced it at a big event a few days ago in Palm Beach. Another big thing that's needed, the thing that would keep almost any other organization from doing that, from doubling from 550 to 1,000 to 1,100, I mean, we're still working out the numbers, it'll be roughly a doubling of the whole infrastructure, is finding enough qualified people to hire overnight. And we have been hosting Turning Point conferences since 2015.
Yep.
So we have, without realizing it, been training up the future workforce. So you look at a 23-year-old putting on some super impressive event. They're not just any 23-year-old. They came to our Young Women's Leadership Summit when they were 16, and they've been hyper-based for 7 years. And that 23-year-old is more mature than most 40-year-olds you see walking around. So yes, age-wise, our staff is very young, but maturity-wise, we have a seasoned team.
No, you're absolutely right. And you made the point. Everybody's showing up to work and they're doing the work through their tears. I have to imagine that when you see the accusations thrown and the fingers pointed at that staff, it's infuriating. It's infuriating to me knowing the amount of people I know in the organization. But for you personally, what's that been like?
It's been infuriating and it's been upsetting, but praise God, Erika has kept the team set on our work instead of set on these ridiculous accusations, which come from many directions. There's a lot of focus put on a few, but really they come from a lot of directions across the internet. And in a way, it's not that different from how it was when Charlie was alive. We were always getting attacked from all sides, usually by leftist outlets. And I remember in the early days, that would bother us, that would distract us. If Charlie and I were having dinner in 2017, that might be part of what we talk about, like, oh, Washington Post, is they're going to try to allege this?
Yep.
And we hit a certain point where we just stopped caring. And it was probably 3-4 years ago where we just genuinely stopped caring. And we have an amazing media team who deal with all that. But we learned the hard way through experience that when you focus on building, then it doesn't matter what they allege. It doesn't matter what they throw at you. And I absolutely love the courage Erika has shown this week, speaking freely on a lot of these issues. But it doesn't matter who's attacking us. If we know that it's not true, you just focus on building. And this is a big reason why I believe, to my knowledge, I don't know one big investor who has pulled their money out of Turning Point over the last 3 months. And in fact, I know a lot who've doubled and tripled and quadrupled down. And that is because fundamentally, what matters more? Podcasters saying things that are completely unverified with no evidence, or telling them that the Club America infrastructure has gone from 1,200 to 3,000 in 90 days. If you are a big investor, which of those two are you going to care about more?
Yep.
So you need to build and then you need to advertise the fact that you are building, and that is all you need. That is why we are raising more money than ever. We have more staff enthusiasm than ever. And I look at the timeline Charlie set for us a few weeks before he died, when he gave us this big vision to put 20,000 Club America chapters across the country. We're kind of like a year and a half ahead of his timeline.
Let's go.
And praise God for that.
Amen.
But that is a testament to how amazing our staff is. And special shout out to all of you out there who have funded Club America. Special shout out to all of you Club America chapter leaders who are listening. And we'll talk more about it later, but I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled for the Tennessee event tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about it now because I'm excited. So you kept saying, we're going to keep building. We're going to keep building. We're seeing the fruit of that. What can you tell us about the Tennessee event tomorrow? Who's going to be there? What's the announcement? Give me all of the details that you are privy to give me at this moment.
So we'll have a number of wonderful speakers. I hear a rumor that Riley may say a few words. I hear another rumor that Senator Blackburn may say a few words. And Governor Lee will not be able to be there in person. He had another engagement, but he's going to be sending a video sharing all the details of the Tennessee Turning Point Partnership. And I'm thrilled that the governor's office is all in. And again, I got to give a special shout out to my friend Joseph Williams, the governor's chief of staff. We've been talking about this since right after Charlie was assassinated, and Joseph has been very passionate about seeing this get done in Tennessee. So major shout out to him. And I've just gotten to know a lot of people in the governor's office over the past few weeks, and just a lot of patriots. And one thing that's been wild, a lot of them are actually former Turning Point leaders or married to former Turning Point leaders.
That's crazy.
It's funny how the infrastructure is getting so big that as I'm doing all these events with different states, I'm working with various people who are like, oh yeah, I was the vice president at TPUSA Auburn, or yeah, I was the president at Alabama. So
that's like the one of the unsung hero parts of Turning Point is that you're getting these kids while they're young, you're building that foundation, and then they're going off and they're doing even bigger things. They're in these offices writing legislation. They're working as chiefs of staff and in the governor's offices all over the country. It's unbelievable what you guys are doing for these kids.
And we've seen that directly play out with how well a lot of these state partnership events have gone. I won't specify which state, but one of the states I was working on, we didn't have the details for the run of show. I was really hoping they would do everything that I had pitched them. And I was like, oh, I hope I work with a good advance guy as we make the plan for the run of show. And he opens the call and he was like, yeah, I was just one of your chapter presidents at this school. And then he went all in and helped us get everything we needed that day. So we see a lot of people who just have genuine gratitude for Charlie, because he built the organization that defined a lot of their social life. Another thing that I've been told many, many, many times is I met my husband or wife at a Turning Point chapter event or one of the big Turning Point national events. I met my beautiful wife, Brenna Tifo, at SAS 2017. So I'll never forget that. And I'm thankful for Turning Point for a lot of reasons, but that's probably number one.
There's a lot of stories like that. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but it seems like there must be something in the water down there at headquarters because everybody's pregnant at the exact same time, too. They're just following Charlie's advice. Start that family. I love to see it. We got Josh Tifo in studio. He is willing and able to take all of your questions, answer any question you may have. 615-737-9986. We'll take your calls with Josh when we get back. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That was a really good segment.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. We've been talking a lot about what the Glock Store is doing. Have you gotten your picture with Santa yet? If you said yes, and it's just an old-fashioned, traditional, boring Santa, you need to get another one. And you need to do it this weekend at the Glock Store because the one, the only Tactical Santa is back. This is Santa with some war paint. This is Santa with just a little titch of PTSD. He might wake up in some cold sweats, but it's also a Santa who will deliver presents to the south side of Chicago. He'll go in to the Twin Cities of Minneapolis with no fear. That's Tactical Santa. He's coming to the Glock Store this weekend, December 12th and 13th. Just $25 gets you a professional photo with the Glock by the Glock Store's in-house photographer. whatever. You can bring the kids. You can bring the pets. There will be accessories for you to take a just pro-America photo with Tactical Santa. It's going to be the most unique holiday photo memory you've ever had. Glock Store's own Tactical Santa this weekend, only at the Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, a man convicted of raping and murdering a Chattanooga college student in 1988 has been executed in Tennessee. 64-year-old Harold Wayne Nichols died by lethal injection this morning at Riverbend Maximum Security Institution in Nashville. Nichols admitted to killing 20-year-old Karen Pulley and was sentenced to death in 1990. Pulley's sister, Lizette Monroe, described the long wait for justice as, quote, 37 years of hell, expressing hope that this moment would allow her to remember her sister's life rather than her death. Kilmar Abrego Garcia could walk free today after a Maryland judge ruled ICE has no legal basis to hold him. The government had tried to deport him to several countries, but none accepted him. He was previously deported in error despite court protections, then later brought back to the U.S. by the Trump administration. Now, his criminal case in Tennessee is still pending. And the man charged in Charlie Kirk's assassination makes his first in-person court appearance today in Provo, Utah. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson charged with aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, among other counts. We'll be watching for any announcements on future pretrial scheduling or evidence disclosures and whether news cameras will be allowed. And a very rare pregnancy coming as a surprise to a California woman whose baby overcame tremendous odds. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Susie Lopez, a nurse in Bakersfield, California, took a routine pregnancy test before a procedure to remove a 20-pound ovarian cyst that had been growing for years.
Sure enough, after 17 years of not being pregnant, not having regular periods, it was a positive pregnancy test.
She soon started to experience pain in her abdomen, so she and her husband rushed to the hospital.
As soon as we got in, they checked her in, and the rest is history.
Doctors ordered an MRI and were stunned.
Doctors say the baby was behind that very large ovarian tumor, not in the uterus, confirming it was an abdominal pregnancy. The baby weighed 8 pounds, said to be in remarkably good health. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You want to get back to a pain-free life by Christmas? You can. And it's not going to break your Christmas present budget. No. It's just $12. The Big Daddy Trump special. That's what the Wellness Institute of Nashville is calling it. It's going to get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. You heard me right. Only $12. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are going to take care of you no matter what you're dealing with. Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, tingling limbs. None of that is going to be fun. It's definitely not going to be fun throughout the holidays. So fix it. Fix it today. And don't break the bank. And you might be like, okay, great. Yeah, I'm gonna be drugged up on opioids for Christmas. No. No opioids, no painful injections, no surgery. It's gonna be state-of-the-art, non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, anti-gravity machines. So none of the wonky stuff, just the good stuff. Grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it with the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, painisbad.com. Remember last week with the Tylenol stuff? Yeah. Okay. And then Britain, they came out and they... Remember last week with the Tylenol stuff? Yeah. Okay. And then Britain, they came out and they said, don't listen to anything Trump says. You remember that? Don't listen. Don't listen to the orange man. Tylenol's totally safe. And then we were like, well, should we listen to Tylenol? Because they said don't take it while pregnant.
Yeah, they said that a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I've come to a new conclusion. We don't need to listen to anything the British government says, which leads me to this headline. First cousin marriage has benefits, says NHS guidance, despite birth defect risk. First cousin marriage is linked to stronger extended family support systems and economic advantages. So it's a strong family. Now, it's important to point out the real reason that they're doing this is because they've been culturally invaded by Muslims. I know. Listen. It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Rumble's a janky platform, and it just they need to clean it up a little bit. So find us on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. You can't if you search for the radio station on Rumble, it doesn't exactly always pull up the radio station. They got to smooth some of that out. But we got Josh Tifo in here. He's a senior director for Turning Point USA. Tifo Thursdays. And he's willing to take any and all questions from the audience.
I have a feeling today's going to be kind of spicy.
It could be spicy.
Bring it on.
To be fair, the last time we took questions, we had the independent candidate call in, and we were dying laughing because my wife and I said, "Did you hear Josh's interview?" And she said, "No." And so we went back and listened to it. We were belly laughing because Josh just kept going, "Will you drop out of the race and endorse Matt Van Epps today? Do I have you down for an endorsement?" And it was one of the funniest things I'd ever heard.
I mean, I was really disappointed she didn't do it. She seemed very sincere. If she really loved Tennessee, she would have done it.
She would have done it.
I was giving her an out. I mean, you could have really been a hero.
She could have. You said that to her.
The window of opportunity was there. Not everyone goes through the window, though.
He said, be a hero today and drop out and endorse Matt Van Epps.
We were all thinking it.
Absolute savage. So Josh is in here. He's willing to take any of your questions. Senior Director for Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action. Rachel in Nashville, you're up first with a question for Josh. What's up, Rachel?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. My daughter is president of her Turning Point chapter or Club America chapter at her high school, and she's having a lot of trouble getting people to, I guess, pique their interest and get involved, and she's gung-ho about it, but is having trouble getting other people in the same boat as she is. Just wondering if you had any advice.
So here's what I want to do. I actually want to speak with her. Can you shoot an email to Weston, WESTON, at tpusa.com?
That was my fault. I closed the call after the question. Call back and we'll get you the email for Weston, and then we'll have you email Weston.
And I'll still answer the question as well. So, and that's WESTON at tpusa.com. And same for all listeners if you have any Turning Point related questions. So the best way to recruit for a new group is you just have to make it feel like a party. So have some type of big event with an event invite that you can text around to your friends, that you can post throughout the school, you can get circulating on social media. And then the whole vibe needs to be that this is fun, this is exciting, this is where the cool kids are going to be. And I want to hear more about the specifics of her situation, though. So email Weston, and I'll make time for a phone call with her. I started way back in the day building a lot of our first chapters in Ohio and Florida 10, 11 years ago. So I have a lot of hands-on stories I can share.
Well, I got Rachel back on the line. I would also say there's a bunch of Turning Point chapters around Middle Tennessee that have been successful. I know that we have quite a few in Murfreesboro. The ones that run the homeschool chapter are unbelievable. So I'd say reach out to other presidents and see what's worked and what hasn't for them. But Rachel's back on the line. Rachel, any follow-ups for Josh?
No, that was it. She's just having a hard time getting people as excited as she is. And, I mean, she's wanting to take this as far as she can go and even go through college and hopefully get a job with you guys one day. But but she's just having trouble, I guess, getting other people invested like she is.
I absolutely love that she's doing the work. The best strategy for a new group to blow up interest overnight, have her plan some type of event with some type of conservative speaker people would want to come out and see, and then you just plaster the high school and the internet community with that invite, and then that one big event is kind of the lighter fluid that you put on the fire, and that's how you can go from 10 to 100 members in 1 week. That's my favorite strategy to get things going right away.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, tell her to talk to Bailey. She's the local high school rep too. Bailey is awesome, and we're actually blessed. We have quite a few Turning Point contributors and content creators here in Middle Tennessee. It's Turning Point South. I mean, The Nashville is like the second headquarters for Turning Point. I feel
people love Turning Point South. How can you not?
How could you not? What other advice would you give for these young kids who are starting the chapter and kind of just feel like they're out in the wilderness, kind of floating there a little bit?
So one practical piece of advice, because of what's about to happen tomorrow, it is about to be very dangerous for any leftist teacher or administrator to get in your way whatsoever, whether it be threatening your grades, making it hard for you to reserve event space, making it hard for you to get registered student organization status. If anyone gets in your way for any reason, they could get a call from the governor's office. So be emboldened with that and know that you have the full backing of the state of Tennessee as you're forming your chapter infrastructure. And if you have some crazy socialist teacher who's making things tough for you, she would probably be pretty scared if the state reached out to her and asked why she was discriminating against a 16-year-old.
Yeah, right.
I think discriminating against minors is a pretty serious thing. So I'm glad that the state takes that seriously now.
Yeah, it's about damn time. And I'm excited about the announcement that we got tomorrow. Josh is willing to take any and all questions from you guys. 615-737-9986. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a spicy question yet. Just to be fully honest, I thought that we would have them lining up because of the statements that we saw from Erika Kirk yesterday on Harris Faulkner. She finally broke her silence. I do want to play that clip, and I'd love to get your reaction from it, Josh, because I do think that this was a big day yesterday for Turning Point USA. This is Erika Kirk answering the rumors that have been percolating online.
Tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall, and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the handpicked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved them is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard. And I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole. Whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
Instant reaction. I can imagine that there is a large ovation from the Turning Point headquarters where it's like, good, finally, like let's go, like enough of this BS.
So this is exactly why Charlie was so adamant that if anything happened to him, he wanted Erika to run Turning Point. This is exactly why. And I look at how everything has gone down since days after Charlie passed. And over and over and over, Erika has done the right things to help us continue to stay focused and continue to grow. The first big thing she did was she understood the direction Charlie wanted to take the organization because she was so read in on it, clued in on it. They communicated constantly about Charlie's big visions. She knew it better than anyone else. And she made sure that all of those important projects continued even within a week of him passing. One of them being what we've talked about a lot today, the Club America expansion. So number one, she understood that. And number two, she has had the wisdom to ignore the noise and focus the team on building, which starts with her focusing on it. But secondly, she has directed us to focus on building instead of focusing on all the noise and all the attacks. I'm glad that she confronted things the way that she did yesterday. A lot of people have been very excited for her to come out and speak freely on this. But yeah, there's one person doing a lot of the attacking today. It's going to be someone else in a few months, and it will continue as long as we keep doing God's work. It was Washington Post years ago, and it was AP a couple years ago, and then it was New York Times last year calling Charlie an anti-Semite. And we never know how evil is going to attack. We never know where evil is going to attack from, and sometimes it surprises us. But the one thing we can count on is that when our foundation is God, when he is our rock, and when we obsess over the commands he's given us and the direction that he has sent us in and the work that he has called us to do, then it doesn't matter when we get attacked. It doesn't matter where we get attacked. That's why you've seen her just be so unbothered by all this. It's why you've seen me be so unbothered by all this. I mean, Chris, we don't even talk about any of this stuff. I think this is the first time in 3 months I've even addressed any of these things, because it's not what I care about, because the attacks do not matter when you're building. You know what matters more than what some podcaster is saying today and what some other podcaster says in 3 months and what the New York Times is going to say in 6 months? What are we doing now to change the future of the country? And the results are completely impossible to ignore. We have gone from 1,200 chartered chapters the day Charlie died on high schools to 3,000. I have never heard of any organization of any type in the entire world experience growth like that. And that is because we are all obsessed with building in honor of Charlie Kirk. He gave us a final directive a few weeks before he died, a lot of his key leaders. He wanted 20,000 Club America chapters all over the country. And that is what we will obsess over until the goal is complete.
615-737-9986. If you have a question for Josh, Steven is on the road. You're on with Josh. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Josh. Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
What do you got, man?
Yeah. So first, let me just thank you guys for what you're doing. This is truly the fight that needs to happen in our nation and in our times that we're in. I look at you guys as, in Revelations, the Bible speaks a piece that says the swords will be coming out of their mouths, when they descend from heaven. And I see you guys as the beginning of that, fighting all the addictions and the gender dysphoria and all the issues that the young generation has right now. And I appreciate you guys fighting for that and trying to get everybody back on the right track. It's doing so much good for us as a nation. So, but I wanted to ask Josh about Vanderbilt, because I read an article that they were trying to get a chapter started at Vandy, and I mean, I thought that's almost going to be impossible, right? Because Vanderbilt is, they're kind of stuck in their ways. So
Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt.
Information? It's
I
tough,
personally tried to get the Vanderbilt chapter started, like 5 years ago. That was a long time ago. And it's been a tough fight. We have a lot of activists there, and it's been tough for us to get officially recognized as a group there. I'll have very positive news for Vanderbilt soon. Maybe I can break it on the show sometime in the next week or two.
Is that so?
But things are headed in the right direction. There are a lot of amazing conservatives at Vanderbilt, and I could see some of the cultural effects of tomorrow maybe solidifying that situation even more.
Are you telling us that Vanderbilt will make headlines that won't involve transing kids?
I mean, it'd be pretty fantastic. That'd be my dream.
That'd be pretty good.
That's what the people want. I mean, they all love Diego. They all love the football team. And how about they have a positive headline that's not football related? I think that'd be fantastic.
That'd be great, too.
Yeah, so anyone who's with the Vanderbilt executive team who may be listening, reach out to me, weston@tpusa.com, and let's meet. I would love to make this a big positive thing for you guys, too.
Thanks for the call, Steve. We appreciate you, man.
Josh, thank you so much, man. God bless.
Hey, thank you for the encouragement. Thanks for calling in.
615-737-9986. Give me a preview of the event tomorrow. So you're going to be at the state capitol, 9 a.m., and this is going to be a major announcement in Tennessee.
A major announcement similar to some of the other state announcements that you've seen. It's actually going to be inside the Legislative Lounge, the old state library. So historic space. Almost all the attendees are students. It's going to be very, very special. We'll have more to discuss tomorrow because I know you'll be talking with some of the people who are there, and I can come on tomorrow. So I can preview some things, but let's save it for tomorrow. And one thing that I want to touch on that our last caller mentioned was the spiritual moment we're in. It's easy to focus on the tactical. It's easy to focus on the big media stories going on today. Let's refocus on what matters most right now, which is the fact that 9/10 ignited a revival in the United States of America, and it is tearing through young America today. And I hope and I pray that it continues to affect more of the non-young people in America. And what we're already beginning to see is we're seeing 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds get saved, and then the gospel enter that home kind of from the youth up instead of wisdom flowing from the older people down, which it's kind of wild how God's doing it that way in our nation. But the passion and the fervor that I'm seeing from so many young Americans for the spiritual things is incredible. It's one of the first things I sensed when I was talking with our top Texas leaders on Monday on the steps of the governor's mansion. The general theme of what they were asking me was, how can I better defend the truth politically, but most importantly, spiritually? How do I win over my family members? How do I win over my friends? What do I talk about when I'm tabling out on the quad at Texas A&M? That's what one young lady asked me. And there's such a hunger not just to follow Jesus, but to tell other people. And it is the antidote to the depression and the addiction and the anxiety that has come to define Gen Z up until now. I am seeing that change. I am seeing young men with a hunger to become real men, a hunger to follow Jesus, a hunger to become spiritually strong, a hunger to become strong, godly husbands and strong, godly fathers, and to build things. And if that continues, we are going to look like a very different country in 5 to 10 years. Because when a nation has strong, godly young men, there is no oxygen for feminism to thrive. There is no oxygen for feminism to thrive because the young ladies around those godly, strong young men, they want to get married and they want to have kids. Feminism only preys on women when they are not around marriable men. And think about it. There's a lot of reasons why women my age, kind of early to mid-30s, a lot of them are feminists. A lot of them are liberal. It's been a big political problem that, thank God, Erika Kirk is fixing in a big way the past 3 months. AmFest had more female signups than I thought we would ever see at a Turning Point event. Just it was extraordinary, an avalanche of signups. If we continue to see this renaissance with young men, then you will see feminism utterly extinguished in young Gen Z and then in Gen Alpha. Because think about it, the reason why a lot of 30s and 40s women are feminists, and they got the Kamala Harris shirts and they hate the patriarchy.
Pink hats.
They probably didn't have dads or boyfriends or husbands who were strong, godly men. And the absence of strong, godly men in any demographic, in any society, gives rise to feminism, because then the women make it all about their careers. They make it all about being strong themselves because they can't trust men to protect them. They can't depend on them. They can't rely on them. And there's no room for the biblical marriage ethic, the idea that a wife should submit to her husband as the husband submits to Christ. If the husband's not submitting to Christ, then why would the wife want to submit to her husband? And that is why we don't see a lot of biblical marriages in society right now. I am seeing a very different story play out with Gen Z, especially young Gen Z. And if these young Gen Z men continually to get more and more spiritually based, then you will see feminism disappear in an entire generation, because these women will want to follow Jesus, they will want to get married, and they will want to have kids because there are actually marriable, godly, strong young men. Praise God for that.
Amen.
But we need to step on the gas and continue that trend.
And you guys are going to be stepping on the gas tomorrow. Huge announcement coming for the state of Tennessee. Josh is going to check in with us after the announcement. Riley Gaines is going to be checking in with us after the announcement tomorrow. And we'll get a breakdown on everything that happens. Wishing you the best of luck tomorrow. Praying for just a successful event and the safety of everyone involved. How can we keep up with you in the meantime, though? Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on all outlets at Josh Tifo, THIFAULT, at Josh Tifo, THIFAULT. Thank you for having me on. This is one of my favorite things we do every week.
And I meant it earlier when we opened the interview. The work that you're doing behind the scenes, it truly is unbelievable. And I just give you a lot of credit for the expansion that we're seeing with Turning Point USA and the ripple effect that we're going to see for generations to come because of it. I really do appreciate what you're doing. Thank you. It's 11:55, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris.